and welcome to Game 2 between Stefano and a Liquid Hero on the bottom left of Cloud Kingdom. We do have Stefano, of course, as the red Zerg player, and on the top right we do have Liquid Hero as the blue Protoss player. Now let's speed this up. In the previous game it was a very nice game between both the players, and if you guys haven't watched it, I would highly recommend you watch the first one before jumping into the second one. This is of course from the Battle.net 2012 finals, one of the largest tournaments out there so far. He did go for that Forge Fast Expand, so we do have that second Nexus of course being dropped down as quickly as possible, and that hatchery for Stefano as well. Overlords typically streaming across the map for Stefano to be able to scout that out. We do have that one Zergling scouting, just proving a little bit of nuisance for a Liquid Hero, a little bit of harass, but nothing really more than that, as the Zergling really overall doesn't really have much of a chance up against this probe. This probe should pretty much drop the Zergling very, very quickly though. But we do have another probe being pulled off the line. Of course, Stefano microing that Zergling very, very nicely. He did target fire that probe and managed to drop that probe. Very nice by Stefano. Actually still managed to keep in mind where that probe is and targeted fire that probe. And he did take one of those probes out, so really nice that Stefano did get that done in the beginning. So far nothing much is happening between both the players. He did go for that third hatchery again, and we do have that pylon though. So will Liquid Hero go for a... He's going to be going in for a actual cannon push, so this is pretty interesting. He's sacrificing a lot of resources here. The question is, will he manage to keep this cannon fortification up and ready though before that queen comes? Any amount of delay will be good though, but Stefano will see this. The cannons are going to be completed, so very nice play by Liquid Hero. Very risky, a lot of resources have been sacrificed to deal with this. Now the question is, will it actually pay off though? This is the question, will it actually pay off for Liquid Hero? Of course, all Stefano did was just go to the other side instead of going to the bottom right, but he does have a good, nice foothold here. So Liquid Hero really is on the upper hand. He did make Stefano lose those 400 minerals to build that hatchery, but didn't delay it up much, as we do have that third hatchery on the top left instead of the bottom right though. Now the question is, of course, that Zealot's going to be going in. It's going to be scouted out, surrounded, and dropped very quickly by those Zerglings, so nothing happening there. A Roach Worm, typical Roach build by Stefano happening here. We do have two gates, so maybe finding a little bit of aggression again. We do have that Stargate, still going for that Phoenix build. Very similar style build by both players in comparison to the last game though. But let's see, let's exactly see how this game turns out to play for Stefano and Liquid Hero. More Phoenixes being thrown in. He still didn't reveal that he has those Phoenixes. He is keeping them hidden, so this might be prove strategically advantageous for him, but let's see how that goes. He did leave these. Actually, he's going to try to drop this though. He might be able to drop this, but with 3 cannons I don't think that he will, though. He just managed to get the shields down, so really not even a good harass though. He should have at least tried to make some damage. Phoenix is coming into play, and they are going to be taking out the queens. Very, very aggressive play by Liquid Hero. He is going for that Overlord, and that Spore Caller is nearly complete, and he did start to place a lot of them down though. A lot of Spore Callers are being placed down, and Liquid Hero is trying to do a little bit of harass again with those Phoenixes. Third Nexus is being dropped as well, so I don't think that Stefano will let this slide though. He should spot this out, of course, and he does see those Overlords are there, so he will pretty much pick off the Overlords and try to harass Stefano's supply line just a little bit though. Finally harass is coming in by Stefano. He is moving in from both sides though, so he will pretty much sandwich these groups, but with this many sentries, the force fields will prove very effective against Stefano though, and unfortunately his own force fields did prevent him from moving forward and trying to put down a little bit of damage. A couple of force fields preventing those Zerglings from attacking, and it did manage to save this Nexus. Not very high on health though, but he did save that Nexus though, so he is going to be getting that third base up and ready. So far those Phoenixes are taking out these Overlords, so that's pretty much it. Stefano again supply block though, 98 to 94, so touche for Liquid Hero. Very nice play by him. The Thermal Lance upgrade is coming online. 6 Infestors, so he's switching into Infestors. And I don't know if that was... No, we do have more Creep Tumors. Level 2 upgrades coming on, and he just started with level 2 Liquid Hero. So Hero just a little bit behind in terms of upgrades for Stefano. That, of course, Observer is moving in. They're going to be taking out these Creep Tumors, I do believe. and surrounded by this many Zerglings, and that's pretty much it for these Zealots. They will drop with just the level 1 upgrades, not really any match for this many Zerglings. But the Observer, where is that Observer? That Observer is pretty key in terms of being able to spot that out. Having Stefano taking control really of all the key Xel'Naga towers though, so that's really good for Stefano to have that extra vision, extra scouting ability there. The Stargate is quiet, we do have just that one Colossus, and Zealot upgrade is coming online. Photon cannon as well. He did of course drop the actual photon cannons here. A lot of Phoenixes being hidden in the back, but finally a push is coming in. But with that, with those 2 Colossus and that Thermal Lance just about complete, that'll pretty much put a halt to this many Zerglings, as they will get roasted very, very quickly, so there's nothing really much he can do. Of course, Sporecrawler's moving forward. He is very, very paranoid in terms of those Phoenixes, so he is trying to get a frontal lineup against those Phoenixes. Nice play by Stefano, but I don't know if it'll be very effective though. We do have another Observer coming into play, 4 more Roaches, and finally a Corruptors to counteract those Phoenixes. So let's see what exactly is going to be happening here. Will Liquid Hero finally push out? I think he will, especially with that Observer coming in and a War Prison as well, so we might have a little bit of War Prison harass. He is pretty much mopping up all these units here. A lot of free kills by these Phoenixes, but those Corruptors should pretty much balance that out. We have it increased to 8 Corruptors now, so he is pretty much building those Corruptors to counter these Phoenixes, as the Phoenixes are proving very effective in terms of getting those pot shots off. Again, we do have the air attack level 1 and the flyer attack level 1 upgrades coming into play, so that's very good for Archons in play and for that 4th Nexus as well. He is finally moving forward. War Prison is going to be probably used just to provide that backup, and the Corruptors are going to be targeting firing that War Prison. No, I don't believe he'll get any War Pins into play. A little bit of miss micro there, a lot of infested Terrans being thrown down, but not very effective at all. The Corruptors will pretty much take out the actual Colossus, but finally those Phoenixes do come into play. But we do have the Spore Callers as well in the background, a lot of infestors, so not looking up for Liquid Hero though. I don't know why he's still persisting and going forward. A lot of infested Terrans and Roaches should pretty much push this actual build back by him. A very nice fungal again is being placed down. That Archon does drop, and that's pretty much it. He's going to be retreating, and more infested Terrans are being thrown up, and a very nice concave by these Roaches. So that's pretty much it for Liquid Hero. He's going to be losing though with the Zealot charge. He might just postpone this just a little bit, but nothing much he can do. Too many infested Terrans to back up these Roaches. A lot of damage. This Nexus should be cancelled. I don't know why. Finally he does cancel. Unfortunately he doesn't cancel that 2nd pylon and loses that as well. So a lot of warpins happening now though. The question is, will this be enough to finally push him back or not though? We do have burrowed infestors moving in from the undergrowth, and 1 Phoenix just in play, but not a lot of that Nexus to drop. He's rebuilding that Nexus. Again, infested Terrans, finally that Colossus in play, so hopefully this might provide that extra firepower. That cannon of course coming in as well, so I do think that this should push Stefano back, and Stefano notices, and he is retreating though, but very nice play by Stefano. Again, finally those level 1 air upgrades coming into play. 4 Dark Templars completed, so we do have more Archons too, that being, and he is rebuilding his economy. Stefano so far hasn't had that impact for his economy. Let's just take a look at the resources. As you do see, it's 13 to 11, so really Stefano is on the upper hand here. Let's just re-increase the speed, as I don't believe anything is going to be happening now so far. Let's just look at the production tab. Blink Research finally coming online, so he might have a little bit of strategic advantage there, and a level 3 upgrade for those Zerglings, so that's going to prove very deadly a mix for him. Finding the Great Spire coming in, so we're gonna have probably some Broodlings, Broodlords coming into play, and that's pretty much it. He did build up. Do we have that supply block? No, not yet. He's 168 to 190, so Liquid Hero really also rebuilding very aggressively. Unfortunately, not enough probes. Finally, probes being moved in to that base to harvest it up. Primary base is complete. Secondary base is nearly about halfway through, if not a third way through. A third left. Just a little bit of scout out happening here. A couple of Zerglings streaming across to provide that little bit of harass. Unfortunately, he did block it off with that 1 Zealot, so nothing much he can do except move forward, cause a little bit of harass here, but that's pretty much it. This will drop, going in for that cannon. Cannon drops. Very nice play by Stefano. A little bit of miss micro by Liquid Hero. I don't know why he allowed that to happen. A lot of upgrades, 5 Broodlords as expected, and a Blink Research complete. And so far he is still behind in terms of supply though, so the question is, will Liquid Hero be able to push out and have that strategic advantage. We do have the Broodlings finally moving forward, and a lot of these Zerglings as well. Of course, the Infestors throwing down the Infested Terrans, and if he can manage to retreat and maybe target fire these Broodlords, he might be able to win. But with that Overseer again into play, that'll provide those over that Observer to drop out. So far no Observer in play though, but he does spot that out. Broodlings, of course, he knows that that's happening. Broodlords are moving in. Everything is dropped here. Very mismanagement by Liquid Hero so far. Anyways, will that push finally happen though? It is 190 to 182. He is finally starting that Psionic Storm. A little bit too late though. I think a little bit too late. That Psionic Storm has been made. It'll prove very effective against a Zerg player, and very deadly as well if you can get a couple of Psionic Storm research, especially since Stefano is really clumping them up though, so he doesn't perceive that that play is going to be happening by him. 8 more Stalkers come into play. Psionic Storm complete, and level 2 weapons for air is happening here again. A little bit of scout out coming in. Finally the push is coming in. It's a little bit of tug of war happening here. A Fungal has been placed down. Observer does drop, so he did scout that out with the Overseer. Where's that Overseer? How did he... Yeah, the Overseer is mixed up with the Broodlord, so that's what happened here. We do have Scout happening here. He's going to be dropping that Zealot, including that Pylon as well, so that's going to prevent another base from expanding. So far, Stefano did go for that second base. Liquid Hero just had a supply block for a second due to that Pylon, but rebuilt that Pylon immediately. And will that push happen? Finally, Stefano is at 200, while, no, 185 at 186 Liquid Hero, so we do need those force field. Very nice Psionic Storm right in the center. A lot of Psionic Storms here happening. This seems to look up for Liquid Hero. Liquid Hero seems to have the advantage here, but the question is, will he manage to take care and do a lot of damage? But a lot of Infested Terrans do manage to push back that push by Liquid Hero, but he still has that advantage. So far he is on the upper hand, and most of these units are very heavily damaged, so all he has to do is persist with this push and take it out. We do have 3 Corruptors, of course, to counter those Colossus, which prove to be Liquid Hero's main advantage here, because those Colossus are very aggressively frying those Zerglings. But nothing so far happening. We do have another Observer coming down just to take a look at what we do have here. Of course, the Overseer does give that scout out for the Observer, and that Observer got dropped. Again, a Fungal thrown by the Infestor. Very nice micro, as always, by Stefano. Do we have a little bit of harass happening here? Yeah, we do. Zerglings, of course, are mopping up the actual production tab blink happening, and that's the end of that. Economically wise, I do believe Stefano has an upper hand, of course. He has more bases online with a very minimal harass by a Liquid Hero, so no war prisons, nothing really happening so far. Liquid Hero is pretty much trying to sustain his bases from being harassed, and finally a couple of Dark Templars for that Psionic Storm, which he does need. No, he is going to be morphing it into an Archon. He does have 4 Dark Templars in play. A Psionic Storm gets dropped down 4 Broodlings, and really not the thing to do, but it does work sometimes. Though a lot of Infestors coming in, so we should have a lot of Infested Terrans as well. A lot of Psionic Storm has been dropped down here though. That Corruptor is really taking off shots, and no actual counter by the actual Liquid Hero Protoss build, and he should retreat. I don't know why he's letting all these units drop for no reason whatsoever though. Finally the Corruptor is morphing into a Broodling, and that Archon is infected though. He is having he did take control of his own Archon and turn his own Archon against his own unit, so that's a very nice play by Stefano. And again, I do believe the pushes by Liquid Hero aren't really thought through. It's more of a aggressive push, not really thought through, while Stefano really does calculate his actual pushes and aggression in terms of pushing out his units. Let's speed this up a little bit more. Nothing really happening so far. Finally, that push is coming in. 5 more Infestors, 4 more Corruptors, and I do think that this is it. I don't know why he pushed out again. So far, Stefano's composition should outbeat Liquid Hero's build, especially the way it is so far now. And in terms of strategy, I don't see Liquid Hero putting any thought to his actual pushes. It's more of a push out and see what happens and try to micro it a bit. Why not? I'm out there. A lot of Infested Terrans. Now we should push back, not really counteract, and another Colossus does manage to drop. So far we do have again a little bit of aggression happening here. Infested Terrans pretty much taken out the production lines of both its only bases that are producing resources, so that's pretty much it. Again, as you see, Stefano is really going on all sides, really countering act on all sides, and this is pretty much it for Liquid Hero. This is all or nothing, and it's probably nothing, as that's all he has. He has a 43.35 supply in terms of 137. Of course, Liquid Hero calls it a GG. And this is it for game 2. As always, happy gaming and see you guys in another gameplay. Bye.